Ashwood wider of the crease, head using his feet down towards mid-on, and he's taken! Jadeja at mid-on, moving to his left, very much against the flow of play.
Shami is in. Lavishai bowled him! Leg stump up the ground, inside edge, back onto the stumps, loose shot, full outside the off stump, went for the moving drive, dragged it back onto his stumps, and Australia have lost their second. They're 2 for 72. Labuschagne goes for 3.
So a stand worth 49, Khawaja on 49. Shami up to the crease, southern end. Khawaja opening up the blade down towards the rope, reaches 50 with a boundary for Blunston. Right on with Blunston. Shubman Khawaja for the third time in the series. Delhi indoor and now at Ahmedabad reaching a half century in the first innings of the test match. Khawaja.
Bowled him! Off stump out of the ground. Hanson's got to go. Punch in the air from Mohammad Shami. May have kept a trifle low, but spectacularly has knocked out his off stump. And Australia have lost their second wicket since the tea break. These are big wickets on a placid deck. And that's a fine intervention from Shami. Hanson's got to go for 17. Australia 4 for 170.
I think Mohammad Shami needs to buy an ice cream to Umesh Yadav for this one, because we were watching Peter Handscomb in the crease. He was way back deep into his crease when Umesh Yadav was bowling, and I think they've picked on that, and Shami has reaped the benefits of what Umesh Yadav has achieved there.
Shami runs into Usman Khawaja, and Khawaja clips it away, and there it is! He reaches his 14th century for Australia with a perfectly struck boundary, a languid shot as befits a fantastic performance from a truly brilliant cricketer. Ever since he's moved to the top of the order, well, Australia have found a superstar opener. He raises his bat. He is in delight. He's been hugged by Cameron Green. He's batted all day. He's got there from his 246th ball in the very last over of the day, and he's got there in the style that he's batted all day, really. Just clipping the full ball with the most languid of ease out to the boundary. Bharat Sundaresan, what a knock.
Oh, you can bury that myth of Uzi can't play spin for good. Uzi can play spin as well as anyone else in the world. He had to wait 10 years to play that first test match in India, 2 half centuries, and now a very well-deserved century. He took over Pakistan last year. He ruled over Pakistan. And now with this century, he's taken one step towards ruling India.
Facing Jadeja, goes back on the stumps and does beat the bowler, and in the process does raise a half century. Cameron Green to 50 and 67 deliveries. Took the attack back to the Indian side in the final 10 overs of play last night against the second new ball. 8 boundaries. Looking a treat so far, and it feels like a lot of runs out there for him on this second morning.
And this is good to see Usman Khawaja holding play, going and shaking his hands. Young man, well played. And this guy, if he can hold his bowling together and his fitness together, he could be a real star.
Shami's in short, and that's pulled fine. It's going to run down to the boundary, another boundary with Blundstone for Khawaja. And that brings up his 150. And it's just the most modest of raises of the bat to his own fans, to the Australian fans away from me who are waving their flags. They've got a brilliant position behind the bowler's arm. But Khawaja's not done. He's eyeing the double 100. Cameron Green's eyeing up the 100. This could be a red letter day for these two.
2 out on the offside. Jadeja to Green, cutting away, out through point. Has it got the legs for 4? It certainly does. Yes. Cameron Green, 100 not out here at Ahmedabad. Rips off the helmet, swings the bat over to his colleagues on the balcony. He has balanced defence and attack superbly from the moment he walked in yesterday. Just the 3rd Australian to reach 3 figures in India in over a decade, delivering on this immense promise. And with Usman Khawaja putting Australia into a fantastic position on the second day, this is a moment he'll remember for the rest of his life, Mike Baird.
Well, I think I will too. What a special innings. I mean, it's one thing to have the talent. It's another to deliver on the biggest stage. And he's done that under pressure. And I think almost chanceless the way he batted. All parts of his game are remarkable. But so thrilled to the young man. And you can imagine how much he's worked for it to get to here and to score that 100. Very special.
It's hard not to feel invested in Cameron Green, 23 years of age. He does represent something more than just another player, doesn't he? A guy who can make a test hunt in India, which he's now achieved, his first in Test cricket, who can bowl the house down, a fifer on Boxing Day late last year. I mean, he's got all the tools to be a world beater, and we're seeing that early in 2023.
Yeah, I mean, just remarkable.
Ashwin into Green, who looks to sweep, goes down the leg side. Oh, given! Right, the partnership has been broken. It was a loose ball down the leg side from Ashwin. He went for the sweep. We've not seen that in his entire innings, and he must have got a tiny little feather, and the much maligned KS Bharat has taken a smart catch moving to his left. And finally this partnership has been broken, and it was always, it felt, going to take a moment of luck as much as anything else. India waiting for something to happen. Well, that was pretty lucky. He's a bit touch of turbulence a long way down the leg side, a fancy little touch of glove, well anticipated by the keeper. And Cameron Green's fine knock comes to an end. Australia lose their fifth, their 5 for 378.
Magnificent catch. Absolutely magnificent and well done. It had to be swept. That ball was that bad. It was not only angled down leg, it was pitching down leg. Went for the sweep, and we'll find out whether it was bottom edge or glove. But wow, what an innings. He's really lifted Australia's run rate and spirits, Cameron Green.
Into Carey, who's gone for a big hack. He's going to be out. Fielder's underneath it. Takes the simplest of catches. Alex Carey, what have you done? On a glorious pitch to get yourself back into form, and off is just his 4th ball. He's gone for the most hideous hack.
Stark, forward, caught it short leg. Safely pouched under the lid by Shreyas Iyer. Beautifully bowled by Ashwin. How many times in his storied career has he brought a left-hander forward, caught the inside edge and had it taken in close? Akshat to Khawaja. First ball shout for leg before. Umpire Menon keeps the finger down. That spun sharply back towards the left-hander. They'll have a conversation. They've got 2 reviews. They've only used the 3rd umpire once in the Test match. Rohit Sharma, Cheteshwar Pujara making the T sign. Spinning back to Khawaja. 2 reds to begin. We knew that, and it is hitting the leg stump. Usman Khawaja's marathon stay will be coming to an end. About to be confirmed up on the big screen, but there are 3 reds. That's hitting leg stump 3/4 of the way up. Nitin Menon raises the finger. Usman Khawaja, his magnificent stay comes to an end. Ashwin bowls, line edging to first slip by the keeper's pad, and he's given. There was a deflection. Kohli was all over it. Ashwin does get a 6th wicket. It is Nathan Lyon, his old nemesis, who's played his role this afternoon. He faced 96 deliveries for his 34, but Australia have been dismissed for 480.
In, Rohit. Punches caught! Punches off the back foot and caught at short extra cover. A loose shot from Rohit. It was a nothing ball, really. A little bit back of a length, and Rohit looked to whack it through the offside, off the back foot, driving, and has picked out the one fielder, short extra cover, Labuschagne.
In here is Stark, round the wicket, hides the ball, looking for some reverse, but Shubman Gill, what a drive that is. From the crease, all timing, out to the rope, and raises his half-century. Shubman Gill, who didn't play in the first couple of tests of this series, it did raise some eyebrows, but he's back here, he's back in form, he's taken India to 1 for 98, and he looks set for a big, long day in the heat.
As Murphy's in short, he's whacked this away. It's going down a fine leg. 1 bounce, 2 bounces, fielder in pursuit. Can't cut it off, and that is the boundary that brings Shubman Gill a magnificent 100. He raises his bat, he takes off his helmet, he is in delight as the flags wave, and this has been a splendid innings from a splendid young cricketer. The next big thing in Indian cricket, he completes his 1st Test century in India, his 2nd overall, and now has had hundreds in all 3 formats, T20s, one-day internationals and Test matches in India. The crowd are in delight, as well they may be. We're going to be seeing a heck of a lot of this young man. It's a great knock. Yes, it's a good wicket to bat on. It's a great opportunity to score 100, but many better, well, more illustrious batters, Marnus Labuschagne, Steve Smith, they haven't managed it. Rohit Sharma, he has. A very mature, wise knock for a man of his age. I've got alongside me Bharat Sundaresan and Phil Long to assess that, just to finish off on how he got to his 100. It was wide down the leg side, and he just gave it a pick-up. Didn't get all of it, but got it high and fine down to the boundary, and the delight on his face is entirely understandable and plain for all to see. VIRAT.
Finally.
Sorry.
I think the moments kind of slipped away, but I'll still push. I'll use my lines.
You don't get long with a spinner. Down the leg side, no run.
No. I mean, the future of Indian cricket is here, and the future of Indian cricket is bright. We've always known, ever since we got the first glimpse of Shubman Gill playing under-19 cricket for India a few years ago, that he was a special talent. And this innings has proved to you why. His first Test 100 on home soil.
Oh, big appeal for Abu Dhabi. This looks really close. He's given it. Richard Kettleborough has raised the finger just before tee on Pujara. That was delivered from round the wicket. Pujara's going to refer this. Okay, this could be tight. In line.
He's out.
Yes, impact in line. Wickets very much hitting the middle of middle stump. It looked out at first glance. It is out.
Hit on the pad, shout for leg before. Up goes the finger of Nitin Menon. Shubman Gill is standing there and thinking about reviewing. He's talking to Kohli. He's considering going upstairs. He will here. We're skipping ultra edge straight to ball tracking. And it's impact in line, which means it will be given out. It'll be confirmed as out. Nathan Lyon gets the breakthrough. It's a big one. Shubman Gill delivers here. Kohli back in the crease. Out towards deep square leg. There'll be a couple there. And he'll get the chance to raise his bat against Australia. And that has not been a regular occurrence in recent years. Virat Kohli to an even 50 from 107 deliveries. Murphy to finish to Jadeja. Again towards mid-on and he's holed out. He threatened to do so earlier in the over. This time straight down the throat of Usman Khawaja. Line round the wicket. KS Brat catches the call. Caught it short leg. Straight up and down. Come on's the call from Nathan Lyon. A soft dismissal from KS Brat. All the noise for Kohli on 99. Line to him here round the wicket. Turning into the onside and there it is. Not his most extravagant 100, nor his most elaborate, but you can never doubt this man's dedication. Careful accumulation, reaching 3 figures for the 28th time in Test cricket, the 8th time in Test cricket against Australia. He takes off his necklace and gives it a kiss. That might be his wedding ring. 1,206 days. Kohli, the chance to wave that bat around again. The crowd adore this man. The former captain takes his bow. What a relief.
It's a moment India has yearned for, prayed for, wished for, waited for, and so has Virat Kohli. It's been a while since I've seen him raise his bat in white clothing, and he's still raising his bat. And it's finally here. We all can relax. Virat Kohli's got to a Test 100 once again.
Green away from us to Kohli on 149 and he clips out through mid-wicket. A lovely shot. A boundary to bring up his 150. Back-to-back fours for Blunston. Right on with Blunston. And Kohli just with a gentle wave of the blade to the dressing room. The crowd in raptures again. The partnership goes beyond 100 as well.
Todd Murphy's supple, lithe, bespectacled frame is back in it as Akshar picks up a single that'll bring him his 50. It goes, ball squirts out to square leg. Akshar raises his bat. He's had one heck of a series. He's averaging over 100.
Stark to Akshar. He's on 79 and he's bowled him. He's chopped on. Stumps everywhere. They're splayed. Stark found a little inside edge. Akshar's looking at his bat. He'll walk off with 79 to his name, though, a third half century.
As Lyon is in. He's gone for a slog. Out to deep mid-wicket, fielder underneath it. Takes the catch. Ashwin has got to go for 7. And it's Kuhlman out there on the deep mid-wicket boundary who pouches the catch safely. Nobody is saving one. And Kohli's set off his head off for the first. He wants 2. He's coming back for the second. Will he make it? Throw comes in on striker's head. Oh, direct hit. He's got him, I think. I think Umesh is going to have to go. Stump is out of the ground. A direct hit from about 45 yards. And Umesh is, well, he started walking off.
Murphy round the wicket. Kohli. This is the ball. He goes hard out towards the mid-wicket. It's hanging in the air and it's taken. Kohli's inning is complete. His marathon stay, 364 balls. All the Australians are running up to the former captain. It was Labuschagne hanging underneath it. Murphy gets a 3rd wicket. Stephen Smith shakes the hand of his old sparring partner. Tom Murphy's the next up to him, the veteran who's dismissed him, or the youngster dismissing the veteran, I should say. Ashwin up, hits Kuhnemann on the pad. That looks much better. Yep, that's out. Umpire Menon raised the finger, up with the appeal. Matt Kuhnemann has a chat to Travis Head to consider the appeal, or the review, I should say, but I just don't see them chancing that yet. He's going to walk off. The timer ticks down to 0. Australia lose the night watchman. Matt Kuhnemann lead before wicket to Ashwin for 6. Australia 1 for 14. Shah to finish the over. Head on 49, and he gets the edge that takes him to a half century. Down towards the rope it goes, reaches it now. Our boundaries for Blunston, right on with Blunston. Good over from Akshar Patel, but Head gets the chance to raise his bat for the first time in the series, and indeed the first time in Asia.
Quite something. 20, you say yes. India only lost 9. So it's bowled him! Travis Head goes for a drive and is bowled between bat and pad. The ball turning a little, and there are smiles all round. Rohit Sharma gives actually a little whack on the bottom, and the breakthrough has been made. Travis Head is not going to reach his 6th century. 2 for 175. There's either 5 balls left in the Test match, or hang on,
wait,
no, they can do it now. They're doing it now. Shubman Gill only got to bowl 1 ball, of course, because the 5 balls of this over gone, the other 2 gone. That is the end of the Test series. Australia have been defeated in the Border Gavaskar Trophy by 2 matches to 1, but we have seen that rarest of things, a draw, only the 2nd draw in 20 Test matches in India. The pitch has defeated everyone. Marnus Labuschagne remains undefeated on 63. Steve Smith on 10. The players shake hands. That's the end of the Test match.
For the last time, SEN Test Cricket. To Henley Holmes, henley.com.au. Adam Collins, Brett Sundaresan. Stumps day 5. The Test went all the way to the very end. Well, not quite really. Australia declared at 2 for 175 at the moment they could in order to shake hands. Labuschagne, 63 not out at the end, fought hard there with Stephen Smith, who made 10 in the final session. Before that, we had Travis Head top scoring with 90. Got done by a lovely piece of bowling from Akshar Patel, but 10 runs away from what would have been an important century for him here in India. Bharat, all told, the day played out almost exactly as we thought it might on a surface that did get more interesting for the spin bowlers, but not really interesting enough.
If today was day 4, Adam, we would have felt, oh wow, this could become an exciting Test match. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Until Travis Head was bowled by that beauty of a delivery by Akshar Patel. Think about it. The only wicket India got was the night watcher, and that too, if he had reviewed Matthew Kuhnemann, he would have been deemed not out. So that's just how difficult it was to take wickets on that pitch. But yeah, I mean, we expected the declaration to come 10 minutes before the tea break. And I was right. It wasn't just me who thought that maybe Rohit Sharma could just, pull a rabbit out of the hat and say, you know what, maybe I'm not agreeing to this declaration. You have declared, you can't take it back. Maybe we'll try and chase it on. Because if you heard Virat Kohli over the stump mic, he did say, all right, light roller. And also, when I spoke to Marnus for SEN, he said he actually told Virat as well, why don't you just go up and put on your pad, and let's mess with Smudger for a while. So, but it was that kind of day. You realize after the first 15-20 minutes or so, or even after the Kuhnemann wicket, once Marnus and Travis Head got into a partnership, you knew there was only one way this game was going. It was just a matter of time of whether India could take a few wickets or whether one of the Australian batters could get to a milestone.
Yeah, and I'm really happy for Travis Head. He passed 50 for the first time, but made contributions in all 3 Test matches after being left out at Nagpur. Doesn't get the ton here. As you say, that really nice piece of bowling to go through the gate, but played some lovely shots through cover especially, leaving this tour on a high note after starting it down in the doldrums, having been dropped from the Test team. And you feel as though for Travis Head, he'll be back here in the future. Yeah. He'll be able to draw down on experiences like today, even if it was on a flat track, to know that he can make runs in India.
Oh yeah, I mean, for him to finish this tour on such a high after being left out of the first Test, and we've spoken a lot about his body language after being left out in Nagpur, such a strong comeback. The second innings in Delhi, he had set the Test match up for Australia, and the number of times Steve Smith now in the press conference and even while speaking to SEN spoke about how that is the biggest disappointment for them, for having somehow not made the most of the strong position they had in Delhi. But it was Travis Head who gave them that platform with the way he batted on the second evening. And then the match winning opening innings in a tricky situation, even though it was just 76 to get in Indore. He got runs in the first innings here, sort of threw his wicket away, but today it was a mature innings. Look, the pitch had started doing a bit. There were a few balls that spun past his bat, but he held his nerve, kept his composure, showed very good technique. Great signs for the future.
Yeah, and Labuschagne 63 for 213 deliveries. He was frustrated through the majority of it, but credit to him. He stuck it out, got to 50 himself. He'd been consistent through the first 3 test matches, and by that I mean he was reaching sort of 20s and 30s, 49 on the first day at Nagpur, which feels like an eternity ago. But getting 63 not out, again, there's a little bit there for him. And having fought hard against, again, the usual attack of Ashwin and Jadeja, they were the joint player of the series for their 25 and 22 wickets respectively at like 15 apiece or something absurd. So they were the clear winners of that award. The player of the match, VIRAT Kohli, for his 186 yesterday. The consistent theme coming through the Australian camp in their post-play interviews has been the hour of drama at Delhi, the brain explosion at Delhi, whatever you want to call it, which made it impossible for them to win there. You can see now they're already looking in the rear vision mirror and seeing a missed opportunity there. And had they stuck the landing at Delhi, we might be having a conversation about Australia winning a series in this country. Instead, it's 2-1, which in context is a good result due to how devastating that defeat was.
And this is why Indians love to play against Australia, or at least the Indian fans love when the Australian team is here. Because think back to 6 years. Australia could well have won that test match in Bangalore. That was the missed opportunity in that tour, and they would then have gone on to win that series. Similarly here, after the Nagpur collapse, you felt that can this Australian team really lift themselves up? They did. They ran the game for so long. So I'm not surprised that they keep going back to that 1 hour where the game just turned. It wasn't 36 all out. It wasn't as dramatic as that, India and Adelaide. But in a way, in that context, it was. They blew that opportunity away. But look, they came back strongly. They won in Indore. They did everything you had to do on this pitch. Maybe they would have liked to get a bigger score than just 480. But they played the game the way you could play on this pitch, or the pitch allowed them to play. So a lot of positives for Australia. But yeah, I mean, 2 times now on the trot, Australia are leaving these shows with the feeling of, could we have just won here?